Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Cena Podcast here on the Monkey Caviar Podcast Network. I'm Donnie, your host. With me, as always, is Adam Levy. Adam, how are you this evening?
I'm doing great, Mike. How you doing?
I am fantastic. I had Comic-Con this weekend here in Charlotte, and I was a panelist again.
Nice. How was that?
It was good. I had two panels this time. I did an interview with some voiceover artists.
Nice.
And, I stole the Bernard Pivot questionnaire from inside the Actors Studio. There's nothing like getting hit with that when you're least expecting it. And then I did a tiny super fun time comic trivia game explosion show. It was awesome.
How'd that turn out?
It was good. I crowdsourced some questions from you guys.
Yeah.
And some friends out here, and I came up with a bunch. And I wrote down about 50 of them, and I realized about 10 minutes in that I needed about 50 more. I ran way short on time. I was probably like 20 minutes early finishing my panel. I was just like, yeah, I'm done. So
I guess better being early than being late.
Right. Next time I'll work the game a little longer, but it was fun. I always have a good time when they let me do Comic-Con. So
that's cool.
I always appreciate it. It's great. Then in other striking news, this just happened today. My girlfriend dropped my birthday present on me. My birthday not until October. So it's a mile down the road, but she has gotten us a nice Airbnb in Asheville, which is this really cool hippie town in the mountains.
Yeah, I know of it.
Yeah. And we're going to see the Chris Robinson Brotherhood VIP.
Nice.
So she says, I wanted tickets just to go. And so she's looking up. She's like, hey, you want to go VIP? And I'm like, can we afford VIP? She says, no, let me tell you what you get. And I'm like, all right. She's like, you get a ticket for the show. You get your own seating area. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. You get early entry. Cool. You get a Chris Robinson Brotherhood rolling table or a rolling tray. And I was like, oh, nice little doobie rolling tray. You get a Chris Robinson and the Brotherhood grinder. I was like, nice. This is so cool. And you get an exclusive poster for the event. And I'm
cool.
all about the posters anyway. So I was like, well, babe, we would have spent, ticket money plus the poster. Anyway, would have bought that. So how much is the VIP? And she's like, it's only $70 a person. And I'm like, well, I guess we're going VIP. So yeah, we're going all strictly VIP. It's going to ruin us for shows in the future, I'm sure. I think from here on out, we're going to be like, nope, VIP. Sorry, that's the way it is.
Yeah, you get spoiled.
Yeah, we need to pick up our celebrity because I need this shit to start rolling in for free. But
that'd be nice.
Our celebrity is what it is, and it's not very much, as you can tell by our empty chat room.
It happens. We get people chatting for Walking Dead.
Yeah. I brought up some Where's Carl, and I gave out pop toys. And
nice.
He gave me a couple. One of the dealers at Comic-Con gave me a couple pop toys to give away, and they were from the Netflix series Bright.
Ones that probably weren't selling at all, yeah.
At all. So I was like, all right, well, these suck. So let me buy a couple. So I picked out a Black Panther and an Arse. Face, and I was like, let me buy these. And he's like, all right, I'll sell them to you for $5 each because you're giving them away. I'm like, cool, perfect. That's what they should cost. So thanks. So yeah, so you got full retail for them, great. So I gave out a couple of those. I gave out a couple of prints from an artist, and I gave out some hats. It was really fun.
Nice. Sounds like a good time.
Good time. If you're ever in Charlotte, go to the Comic-Con. It's fun.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll have to check that.
On to Preacher. This episode of Preacher brought to you by the letter Boom.
As if we didn't have enough exploding last episode.
No, I think there needs to be more exploding, and this episode just proves the point. First of all, I have a real question about the actor that plays Humperdew.
Okay.
I'm wondering if the eye is real. Or if it's a contact. I'm not sure.
I got nothing.
Hard to say. But anyway,
yeah, so Jesse needs to weaponize that harness and the soul sucking ability. Instead of relying on the word, he can just blow people up with Genesis.
That's okay. You just gotta inject them with anything but Tom Brady.
Well, even if they're not injected, they're not going to have the correct proportions of good to bad, and they're going to blow up anyways.
So you're saying that when he stabs the Allfather with the Serena Williams needle, unnecessary?
Yeah, I think it was just to stun him.
All right, I think that's fair. I like that the Allfather said that Hairstar shall know his buttocks like no man has.
Well, we know other people have known his buttocks that way because we saw that scene where Hairstar was telling Jesse about the guy that messed up in front of him.
I just think it's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. He will know my buttocks like no man has known before. I was like, I didn't even hear that in like Brokeback Mountain. Like,
yeah, I mean that is one of the most interesting threats I've ever heard somebody deliver before.
It's right up there. I like that Jesse convinces him, let me die on my knees, praying to God. And then he gets on his knees and he's like, forgive me. Amen. That's it.
Yeah.
And then, a fight ensues. And Jesse, of course, gets the upper hand.
Like you expected.
Gets the Genesis into the Allfather. The Allfather explodes all over the place. And I love that the Allfather tried to squish him first and breaks the desk.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about the Allfather exploding is that explosion seemed pretty contained. It didn't go very far past the chair.
It kind of covered the room.
Well, like where Jesse ended up, like there was almost no blood, no body parts, nothing. It seemed pretty clean back there.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. Jesse did come out of it relatively clean, but
until him and Star got into it. But that was
when you start mucking around in guts and whatnot, you're gonna get your white suit dirty.
Yeah, that's a pretty gross fight scene. Rolling around in some dead man's guts.
I liked when he grabs the intestine and tries to choke Star out with it, and it just pops like you would assume it would. Like it just breaks off.
Like one of the things I've always enjoyed about the show is the fight scenes are really creative. You get some fight scenes like you wouldn't see anywhere else. I mean, when you think action, you don't usually think laugh out loud action. Like I didn't laugh during John Wick when he was killing people. There's some great action in those movies, but it's not like a comedy action. It's not trying to choke somebody with intestines.
There's a certain Tarantino-esqueness about the violence that makes
a little bit, but even Tarantino's violence isn't comedic. It's cartoonish.
He shot Martha in the fucking face. That was funny.
It's cartoonish. It's cartoonish in a sense, but like Kill Bill, like that, in that fight scene in the end of the first movie. I mean, that was way over the top and just exaggerated and embellished, but it wasn't like laugh out loud kind of funny where like some of the scenes in Preacher are.
No, you're right. There's some in Inglourious Bastards, I would say, that are played up for the funny, but I've always felt that Preacher had a little bit of Tarantino in it.
Yeah, I can give you that. I can see that.
So this first episode looked like it was directed by Tarantino. The very first Preacher episode is amazingly well done.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I'm on to the opening credits. I don't know what's about to happen after that.
Has Jesse it ended with the opening scene ended with Allfather exploding, right?
Right. Correct. Yeah. We covered that. I think it goes to
Tulip,
Featherstone singing.
Yeah.
Right.
Onward, Christian soldiers.
Onward. downward Christian soldiers. Yeah, she's a good old chick. That Featherstone.
Good old yeah. I was flipping through channels over the weekend, and I came across that movie Hitch with Will Smith. Completely forgot she was in that.
Oh, all right.
She plays Eva Mendes' best friend.
Oh, I would not have known that. I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
So she's there with the Angel of Death, and the Santa Killers is there with Hitler and Arson. They're just waiting on a bus, as like you do. And the Angel of Death breaks out the choker on her and is like, "Stop singing, shut up."
Yeah, she apparently does not have. She's not a big fan of Christian hymns.
So they get on the bus, and then Tulip comes up and is like, "I don't know who this Tulip is you're looking for. It might be her, but it's not her." And Ars is in the window going, "Hey, Tulip, what's up?"
Yeah, and, I mean, leave it to Tulip. I mean, here's what I love about Tulip is Tulip can plan a bank heist to perfection, but she fucks up trying to do the good thing. You know,
it's a simple.
You know, she makes that that's an art form for her is fucking up. This whole O'Hare curse that they talk about, you know, it only seems to happen when she's trying to do good.
Yeah, well, she's not good at it's not good at the small things. If you have an Ocean's 11 style heist that needs to be done, Tulip is your go-to girl.
Oh yeah, like I said, she can plan a bank heist like nobody's business.
If you need somebody to pick milk up on their way home, don't send Tulip.
No. But yeah, I mean, poor Tulip. You know, Eugene blew the whole thing for her.
Well, she was trying to get the souls back, so she could help.
And Jesse. she had it too, and then Eugene caught sight of her. It's like, oh hey, it's Tulip. Hey Tulip.
Yeah, well, that's kind of that's what Ars does.
Yeah,
he is a naive voice in this unholy mixture, and that's why we love him so much.
Yep.
You should have seen the guy. I gave out the Ars Face Pop toy to, and the guy I asked, like, does anybody watch Preacher? And like a couple of hands went up, so I tossed it to one of the guys whose hand went up. You'd have thought I'd given him like the answers to how to have sex with girls. And we all know that that's not available at Comic-Con.
No, it is not.
Not at all. But yeah, he was very happy to get it because everybody loves Ars. How can you not? And then he does things that he's not being mean, spirited, and calling Tulip out. He's just like, oh shit, that's my friend.
Yeah, he hasn't seen her since he went to hell.
Yeah, so the Angel of Death ropes her up with her whip. It's got hell of a range. Oh
yeah.
And then I like that Eugene sits down behind her and he's like, well, ain't this a surprise?
Yeah, Eugene is just optimistically happy. He is, this is the first friendly face he's seen since, being sent to hell. This is a blessing for him. This is a sign that, and he's been talking about lately about, God having a plan, well, God must have put Tulip in his path for a reason.
What a great surprise.
Yeah.
And Tulip, I just watched that. I was watching it. Tulip on the show mouths fuck.
Yeah. I had to rewatch that. I'm like, did she? Yeah, she did.
She only mouths it, but on the subtitles, it says fuck.
Nice. Good subtitles.
Yeah, not bad. All right, so that takes us back to some of this Cassidy Icarius drama that's going on. One, I don't like this guy's name. He could just be Eric. It would be fine with me.
But it plays into this whole romanticized vampire Bram Stoker-esque.
Just call him Lestat and let's be done with it.
Yeah.
So Cassidy's calling him out for killing all these people and telling them, I'm going to set you free and you're going to be a vampire. You're going to live forever. And they live till the car.
Yeah. They don't make it very far.
They don't make it, but Hoover got out.
He did.
So good on Hoover. This is a big switch up for us in Hoover, but I'm there with it. I'm riding with it. I love Vampire Hoover.
I mean, since we're not going to get, Hoover sitting on a beach counting sand, I guess Vampire Hoover's probably the next best thing.
I'm telling you, when the name of the episode is Swanzkopf, I expect somebody's Schwanz to get lanced. And, Jesse was right there with Hair Star. It was so close. And just eat your own dick. And that would have done it.
Yeah. Although he did give Hair Star one.
Yeah, before we get to that, how do you rate Cassidy's fighting skills in this vampire versus vampire battle where he gets his ass handed to him?
Well, I mean, his fighting might be on par with Icarius, but Icarius has the power over him. So it doesn't really matter what the hell Cassidy did. He didn't have a chance against Icarius.
He did not. That guy disappeared and reappeared. He was like a Nightcrawler.
Yeah. It was like fighting the Flash, And
he claims that they're this close to being happy. All you got to do is, help me kill some of these and you can be happy too. And Cassie's like, I'd rather be fucking sad, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a very unfair fight. I think the only way Cassidy would have a chance is to surprise Icarius, which we've got one episode to see what actually happens there. But I mean, in a straight on fight, Cassidy's going to get his ass whooped every time.
Hair Star walks in on Jesse and says, "Very impressive, Messiah."
I mean, I'm not sure if it's like a respect that Hair Star has for Jesse, or it almost seems like he kind of really loves Jesse. I mean, he seems like to just kind of fawn over Jesse.
Well, he's a far better Messiah than Humperdew.
True, but he doesn't have the bloodline that Humperdew does. I could see people fawning over that bloodline, but Jesse Custer is he's just a Southern preacher. Yeah,
but if you put Humperdew on TV doing a dance, and then you put Jesse on the other channel, and Jesse was just like, I'm Messiah, follow me. I'm going with that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Kennedy Nixon debate. People voted for Kennedy because he looked a lot nicer than Richard Nixon did. That's kind of what it comes down to.
Jesse looks nice. So the Jesse's soul falls out of the Allfather's anus, and
yeah, I like that. That's one of the few pieces of Allfather that stayed intact.
Gross. So they fight for it on the ground, and then Jesse gets to it without even washing it, just tosses it in his mouth.
Well, I mean, the soul inside's still clean. It's just the bottle that's dirty.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. First of all, I don't know what I was watching the other day, but they had a great thing about toilet paper, and they was like, toilet paper doesn't work. I don't use toilet paper. The guy's like, what do you mean toilet paper doesn't work? The guy goes, all right, suppose this. You have a kid. I'm like, all right. Kid shits itself. You're taking his diaper off. The kid goes crazy, slings some shit up. It hits you in the face. Now you're going to reach for a dry cloth and just go, yep, that's enough. Or you're going to get some soap and some water, and you're going to clean that shit off your face. I was like, he's making a valid point.
True.
When it comes to the ass wipe, you just take your word for clean. Is it really though?
Well, I mean, unless you have a way to look at see how it's coming out. I mean, you see how clean it is. That would involve some mirrors and some contortion.
Anal brushing of some sort is required, and some soap. But I'm not prepared to go to the 3 shells at this point. That's all I'm saying.
The 3 seashells.
That's right. I threw a Demolition Man reference out.
You don't get enough of those.
You don't. Never.
Although we did get a mock Demolition Man sequel in this new Taco Bell ad that they've been airing for the nacho fries.
Yeah, a little bit.
It was kind of they did it in nod to like a Demolition Man style sequel. The whole fast food wars and all of that. Oh,
don't get me wrong. I'd be happy if all the restaurants were Taco Bells. I love Taco Bell. The girl, not so much. She hates it.
It's okay.
So after a bit of wrestling through the entrails of the All-Father, Jesse procures his soul once again. And I feel like it's been a while since we've seen Jesse with Genesis.
Yeah, since like the end of last season.
Right. It feels like it's
well,
been
well, here's the thing though. Jesse didn't lose Genesis. Apparently just by missing that little piece of his soul, he couldn't use Genesis.
Couldn't use it. Well, now he's back in command.
And I'm still not quite sure why missing that little piece of his soul, didn't allow him to use Genesis. Because if he wasn't pure enough anymore, wouldn't Genesis have blown him up?
I could explain this. It's a TV show. Don't know.
Fair enough.
When it's the Mystery Science Theater 3000 of it all. When it comes to eating and sleeping and other science stuff, just remember it's a show and you should just relax.
Yeah.
So, but Hairstar goes into this whole thing about how he needs his Messiah, and he's going to the Grail is going to start a nuclear war no matter what. Because
he starts explaining the Grail's plan for Armageddon, which is just awful.
Full of monologuing right here. I'm going to give you the whole plan because we only have one more episode this season for you to save the world.
Yeah, this is your classic Bond villain moment.
Right. So he goes through the whole thing while Jesse's got him. I don't know, as he stopped, sitting, relaxing, kneeling, something. The voices made him do something. And he goes through this whole thing about people getting, those who believe will be saved and those who don't will be, set to fire. I wish. We need a purge.
Yeah, I mean, I like the little visuals of Armageddon.
Yeah, and the whole I wanted to show you the bad people were represented by hippies, protesters, Muslims, the gays, and the wheelchair bound.
Yeah, handicaps are heathens apparently.
Handicaps, Jews. Oh, there's the Jews.
Yeah, that's right. They're Jews.
And the handicap for some reason. And the Grail has infiltrated all these nuclear states and he's ready to fire all the missiles. So that's what he needs his Messiah for. And Jesse just doesn't want to do that. And who would want to be that Messiah to the world of Bob and Doug McKenzie from Strange Brew? Did you ever see that?
Yes.
Right? Nuclear war had destroyed all the bowling alleys. So we spent most of our time looking for beer. What a great film.
God, I haven't seen that in a long time.
Right? We should do a show on that. We really should.
Strange Brew.
Yeah, we should definitely do that. It's the worst apocalypse plan I've ever heard, Jesse says.
Yeah, I mean, if they really wanted to tout somebody out as a savior, they would have launched all these nuclear weapons, had the savior come out on TV, and then abort all of them at the same time, saying, that he saved the whole world, and this way you could have a savior in a non-irradiated world, and you could go out that way. It'd be a lot easier, a lot less messy.
Hairstar says something to the effect of, you don't need to kill everyone, just a few sorts, hipsters, Presbyterians, the Danish.
The Danes, yeah.
I like the hipsters got in there, Presbyterians, the Danes. Yeah. Kill them, and everybody else will fall right into bam with Jesse as the Messiah. Be a perfect world.
Well, Jesse, I mean, a Messiah only in he'd be like the Queen, or the Queen doesn't have any power, but it's the symbol of the ruling class, whereas Jesse wouldn't really have any policy making decisions. He'd just be the guy that that lays the policy, that expresses it to the people, where the Grail's behind the scenes running everything.
I don't know. Figurehead Messiah's got to pay pretty well.
Probably.
I mean, you could be up to your ankles in shepherd's daughters.
Yeah. Chances are you're probably getting laid a lot if you're the Messiah.
I would imagine. It'd be kind of like, Keith Richards' 1978 Rolling Stones era of debauchery.
Probably, yeah.
He's 75 now, Keith Richards.
Jeez.
I just want to point that out. Keith Richards lived to be 75 years old.
That's probably 45 years longer than anybody expected him to.
Kurt Cobain dead at 27. Thanks, Courtney Love.
Oh, what was it? Dennis Leary used to say, like, yeah, John Bon Jovi's still alive. Stevie Ray Vaughan dies in a helicopter crash, and John Bon Jovi's still alive.
It's
like, where's the justice? Come on, get on the helicopter. There's hair products on there.
Kurt Cobain's dead at 27, and Creed is still around today.
Oh, yeah, somebody should have killed Scott Stapp long ago.
Oh, see, that would be like a mercy killing.
Yeah, I think so.
We're missing some show here. That's okay. We'll catch up. So interesting. After Jesse gets his soul back, he decides he's going to deal with the Messiah in Humperdew, and we'll get to that in a minute. But they cut back to the bus ride to hell. Interesting bus ride. Tulip is trying to break out, and Ars is kind of helping her, but more just kind of being Ars. And
he's a conscientious observer there, yeah.
And Hitler is waiting for the SS to show up and break him out, led by the great Rick. We knew Rick would be a member of his SS. He was the deputy chief in his napkin drawing, so that's fantastic.
Well, and at the end of last episode, when he asked, if somebody had a cell phone he could borrow,
he called Rick.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to spoil anything, but in this episode, guess who shows up at the end? It's Rick.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Where are we at? Tulip's trying to break out the window.
Yeah, apparently safety for shit on the bus to hell because the emergency window does not open at all.
Doesn't open at all. And here's the thing. Like, all right, so first the Santa Killers gets up from the back of the bus and walks to the front of the bus for really no good reason but to glare at Tulip.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fine.
I mean, he saw what she was trying to do, but he clearly made no attempt to stop her. So does he just not care?
Yeah, I don't know. Because again, later, now it appears, and I'm going to jump ahead here, but when the Santa Killers is up there with the Angel of Death, the Angel of Death brings up his family. And I'm beginning to see compassion in the Santa Killers for Ars and Tulip, who aren't dead.
Well, yeah, because the Angel of Death told him that, he's like, how did she die? And she's like, well, she's not dead. She's like, same thing with the kid, he's still alive too. And he even asked, he's like, well, when do they start taking, living people to hell? And she's like, well, God's gone. The rules have changed. Clearly that doesn't seem to sit well with him.
Interestingly, Hitler did not get a subtitle.
For his little German?
No.
Was it the part when he was...
Any of his dialogue is not subtitled.
Maybe whoever did the subtitling really hates Hitler.
Well, that seems that's bad storytelling. That's horrible. Every time I see a bus like this, I think of Almost Famous. So I just assume that at any time, everybody's just going to break into Tiny Dancer, which would have been hysterical.
Yeah, this would have been hysterical to see that.
If just Ars face just started like Blue Jean Baby. And you wouldn't have been able to understand it. But
the Blue Baby.
Oh, it would have been great. Oh, that would have been funny.
Yeah, they missed the writers missed a golden opportunity there.
There's a lot of missing subtitles, actually. I'm not happy with my subtitle feature at all. I would have to pay for it to be really angry, but since but yeah,
you get what you pay for, right?
It's Featherstone and Jody driving down the road back towards Grandma's, and they hit something in the road. Not sure what breed it is, but it appeared to have feathers.
Yeah, some weird swamp creature or something.
There's no reason to live down there, by the way. We were in Charleston last weekend, 2 weekends ago, whatever, but they still got fucking crocodiles and alligators running around down there. Dude, that's scary. That's prehistoric shit, man. I don't even want to deal with that. That to me, I see that Kristen goes nuts, like, "Oh my god, look, there's an alligator," and I'm like, "No, man, that's like Jurassic Park." No.
Yeah, don't get near. I don't want any of those things near me.
Do you know how fast those things are with them little legs? No.
Oh yeah.
You can't. I'm not getting away from that. I'm a big fat guy. I'm slow. I'm the first.
Yeah, that's part of the reason. That's part of the reason why I'll never go to Australia, man. Everything out there is designed to kill you.
Everything. That place it's a wild land of death.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
So it goes back to the back to New Orleans, and Cassidy decides to tell.
Well, hold on. The Tulip. This is Featherstone decides to leave Jody here, dealing with this truck. You know, her comment was, you know, Hairstar can't stand to be without me for too long. You know, of course, only she believes that line.
Yeah, he doesn't do well without me for very long.
Yeah. But you know, they're out in the middle of nowhere. How the hell is she getting back to their base? Is she just gonna hoof it?
She has magic powers. Maybe she can fly.
Maybe she got a cell phone and she can call for a helicopter to come pick her up.
What's up, J-Rod? J-Rod is in the chat. J-Rod is a friend of mine. He's in my fantasy football league. We're having our draft next Saturday.
Nice.
You pick fifth. Good luck. I pick second.
I remember you saying something. I had a good pick. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a very good day. They're gonna have a shit day. So enjoy that. Haha. All right, yeah. So let's go back to so in New Orleans, Cassidy decides I'm just gonna tell Les Enfants du Sang about Carius's activities, and they're gonna be pissed off and they'll turn on him. No, it's not what happened. No, they end up crucifying him on a pool table, and not in a kind way.
No, with tent stakes.
Tent stakes. And how do you get that through slate? I mean,
yeah, I was curious about that myself. Like, how the hell do they hammer that through the slate table?
And they used a croquet mallet.
Yeah,
croquet mallet, tent stakes, slate pool table.
I mean,
I have a hard time with.
Even was it a Carius or was it one of the other people, like one of the other kids that did the hammering?
No, it was a Carius.
Okay, well, Carius had the strength; he can probably do that. But that tent stake would not have made it through.
Oh no, it would have bent like it would have bent like a like this bobby pin right here, just bing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, would not a hell. You're gonna want a much stronger stake if you're gonna crucify someone. Well, let me tell you, we crucify a lot of people out here in the South. We know about staking somebody up. And let me tell you what, tent stakes are not the way to go. You definitely don't want the plastic ones.
True.
I liked it on the bus when Tulip decides to go for the panel on the bus floors. She asks if anybody has a dime or anything dime-like.
A dime-like thing, yeah.
What's a dime-like thing? Like, I don't know what a dime is. But Eugene finds the dime-like thing, and she comes up with this great plan to use the handcuff chains, and it's going to wrap around the axle. It's going to flip the bus, and we're going to get out. And she does it. It throws the chains, and they just fall to the floor.
Yeah. Again, you know, the O'Hare curse, you know, the best laid plan just falling by the wayside there.
You knew that wasn't going to work.
No.
But she did try it. And this is when the Angel of Death starts talking to the Saint Killers. And like I said, I see compassion in the Saint Killers. And that's something, it certainly is not from the comic book.
No, I mean, and like, you know, and this kind of goes back to, again, the characters being very different from their comic book counterparts. Even when the Saint was, you know, was given what he wanted from Jesse, when Jesse gave him the information he needed, you know, it was just like, okay, we're done. And, you know, that was it. No sign of gratitude. Just like, okay, you told me what I needed. We're good. And when Jesse goes back to him at the end of the story, when he needs his help for his end game, you know, even when Jesse's trying to reason with him, you know, saying, hey, you know, you were a man once and you were wronged. The only emotion you ever see this guy display is anger.
Right.
You know, there's nothing, there's almost nothing of a man left inside this body. But yeah, I mean, you know, and so with the way they've changed all these characters around, you know, since he's not the Angel of Death, since he is just a guy trapped in hell doing work here and there, it makes sense that he would be, still have some compassion, still have some of that humanity left in him.
Right, because they gave us a character in the Angel of Death.
Yeah.
And that was something we didn't have in the comics. So he was the embodiment of that.
The only time we saw the Angel of Death in the comic book was in the Santa Killer's origin story.
Right. It's so good. So anyways, my goal at Comic-Con was to pick up the other books.
Yeah.
From Preacher, and I hit up like all the vendors, and nobody.
Jeez.
Certainly, I was like, you just really cost yourself $100 because I would have bought all of them.
Amazon.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go find a shop. I feel like I should support a comic shop, so I'm gonna.
I hear you. I understand that.
Like, I don't buy a lot of comics. I'm not a weekly comic shopper, and I'm not caught up on anything. But if I'm gonna buy a comic, I'm gonna do it at a comic book shop or a convention.
Good for you.
As long as I'm giving it to a vendor who's making their living, selling their wares, and those wares being comics.
I fully support that idea.
Thank you. I try to be good. I try to have a moral center about certain things. I don't shopping for comics on the internet, like even digital comics. I could download every week every book that comes out, and I can for free. But
I was doing that for a while when I first was unable to buy my comic books. I was doing that for a bit, but I haven't read anything in like 4 years.
No, like when we talked about doing this a couple of years back, I said, all right, well, I'll just read them, I'll get the digitals and I did, and it's not the same. I got to have a book in my hand.
I feel you. I mean, even when I was buying my weekly stuff and the idea of going digital was available, it's not the same. It's kind of the same thing with like, reading a book or buying a Kindle. I like having the book in my hand.
Right.
There's something about flipping pages and what?
I like dog earing my book and knowing where I stopped in the middle of a chapter and why did I choose there to stop? Was it just because my shit was over, or did I actually just choose that place to stop?
Yeah.
So, and I don't dog ear my comics, of course, because I'm not a fucking savage. But so Jesse lets all the humperdoos out. Can we talk about the mess of humperdoos that take to the street?
Yeah, Jesse decided he was going to kill Humperdew, and Star's like, I've read your profile. You're not the kind of guy that's just kill somebody in cold blood.
Like,
and Jesse was going to. Jesse walked in and
go ahead. I know he just killed the Allfather, and then he's like, "You're not a killer," and I'm like, well, you're not that kind of killer.
And I love, he walks in on Humperdew and pulls a gun, and Humperdew's just like smile, like, "Oh yay!" Like thinking it's some kind of fun little game.
So he lets all the Humperdews out, and they just take to the streets and end up being squished by cars and whatnot.
I love you see that one just like get hit by a car. It's like,
and Jesse goes back in and tells Star with his Genesis voice,
"No more hats.
One more thing. No more hats."
Well, I mean, after the line, like, your head looks like a dick.
And then Jesse leaves the building, and Hoover arrives at the Grail. So in his Rastafarian,
his Rasta Uber look.
Yeah, his Rasta Uber driver outfit. Oh, all right. So now they're just putting Cassidy up. And again, croquet mallet and 10 steaks, that's not going to work. And so they go to open the curtain, and the light's like 5 feet away from it.
Yeah, a little anticlimactic,
right? So they're like, should we move him? And like, no. Let's do the supervillain thing, and we'll just wait, and we'll let Cassidy think about it, and thus plan a way out of it.
It's kind of funny again, like we've been talking all season about the different things that they've done to kind of pander to the comic book fans. This goes back to the Cassidy Icarius story in the Blood and Whiskey one shot, where Cassidy takes care of Icarius. He stakes him to the roof of a church and waits for sunrise. So it's very reminiscent of that, but obviously the tables are flipped here.
Oh, we'll get that next episode.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can't see them, continuing the Cassidy Akarius story into next season if there is a next season.
Right. And seeing as that we don't even know if there is a next season, we can only hope. If there is a next season, I'm gonna love the Santa Killers versus the SS.
Well, yeah, because the Santa Killers isn't armed right now, so
no, he doesn't have his guns. So he gets his guns back for bringing these two schlubs back to hell, which we don't know if they're gonna make it.
No, we certainly don't.
So yeah, because ours comes up with the beautiful plan that if they had a bomb, they could strap it to the window, blow the window out, and then jump out. And they're like, perfect idea. Where do you get a bomb on a bus to hell?
Yeah, there are absolutely zero supplies on this bus.
There's one supply, and Tulip knows exactly how to light this fuse.
Yes, she certainly does.
Yeah, so that was great. I thought that this was a fun scene that even Hitler calls her a crazy bitch. He's like, that bitch is crazy. Oh God, I'm sorry. Right now, hair stars trying on wigs. All right, this is one of the funniest scenes.
And this also straight from the comic book.
Straight from the comic book with the wigs. Yes, I love the wig with the mutton chops. And this is where Hoover's like, I want to admit that I've had a lifestyle change. I'm a vampire now.
Just nonchalantly throws that out there, yeah.
No reaction whatsoever. So then,
yeah, honestly, I don't think Star would give a second thought about Hoover at all, no matter what happened.
He finds Hoover to be grossly incompetent, more so than Featherstone, and that's saying a lot.
Well, I don't think Star ever thought that Featherstone was incompetent. She was actually, like in the comic books, like she was, very competent. She was very good at what she did. It was Hoover that was just constantly screwing things up. He was the comic relief in that duo.
She was so in love with him that she tried to do everything right.
Oh yeah, yeah, and you kind of get that in this show too. I mean, she even a couple episodes ago when they're getting ready to go to Osaka, and she's like, "Oh, I'll call you from the car." Why? I'll text you when I get there.
Text you when why?
Yeah. I mean, she wants Star to look at her the way Jesse looks at Tulip, and that's never going to happen.
No. Yeah, she does. She really was. I love that about her, that she's that in love with. No matter what happens to Hairstar, and in the comic, it's way worse. Way worse. She still loves him. So, like I said, when we first started this, we were like, there are some things in this book that are not going to translate at all to television. And we knew that some things would get left out. Some characters would certainly get left out. And they have, and that's fine. We kind of come to terms with it because the first season was so different from the comic, because it was more of a prequel to anything else. We kind of got into the mode of accepting it and saying, okay, this is a different thing than our comic book, and we've been good with it, but it's tough to put off on TV.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning, from the time I read this book, I figured if they were ever going to do an adaptation of something of like this, there were a lot of things they wouldn't be able to get away with, without incurring the wrath of, certain groups of people. I mean,
the FCC.
Well, the FCC, any like the religious movement, the religious right catches any wind of some of the stuff that happens. I mean, and to be fair, I mean, the story doesn't bash religion at all. There is not, there's nothing in the story that disparages Christianity or God, I think that other than the fact that, Jesse feels that God's kind of a son of a bitch for abandoning his creation. But other than that, I mean, there's nothing even remotely like anti-Christian, anti-Catholic about any religion in the storyline.
Right. If you were to be in a one of those right-wing groups and got upset because the depiction of God is as a Dalmatian or as a guy in a Dalmatian suit, you can get up in arms about it. But it's really, if you go to the core of the story, they're not bashing religion. They're actually holding religion up to a light, and it's a pretty fucking bright light.
Yeah.
Says, what happened?
I mean, you look at something like the Book of Mormon, where everything they say about the Mormon faith is actually true, but when they put their spin on it, it sounds ridiculous and funny.
It's
they weren't out making fun of Mormonism. Their tenets at their core kind of make fun of themselves,
Right.
But there's nothing.
If somebody did a Scientology musical, it would be hysterical. It would literally run forever in LA, right across from this
from the Scientology Center.
Yeah, just right across from it. That'd be great. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about this show here. I don't remember. So yeah, I'm almost at the end of the episode. So,
so Tulip gets her bomb.
Tulip lights the fuse on her bomb, which is the Saint of Killers, and he calls him what is Satan's bitch.
Yeah,
Aaron. No, not Aaron Boy. You're an Aaron bitch, and that's enough to get her a nice backhand bitch slap into the window, which cracks. And there you go, bomb done.
Considering those school bus windows are usually pretty thick, it probably would have done some damage to Tulip's head, getting smacked that hard by the Saint, first of all, and then smashing into the window there.
But she has a very hard head.
She does.
She can take a beating. So Hitler doesn't wait for anything to happen. He just kicks the fucking window out. He's like, I'm done. And that's when there's a roadside IUD.
IED, yeah.
IED.
Yeah, IUD something completely different.
IUD something good. I get a little confused sometimes.
I wonder what a roadside IUD would look like.
Ugh.
You might be a picture of Eugene. Be like, oh, nope, never mind, not doing that.
It's a daytime hooker. This is good. There was a cute little scene with Cassidy and Grandma.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to let that down. She said, I really liked you, Cassidy, but you turned into a rotten piece of shit.
Oh yeah, when even Grandma thinks you're a piece of shit, that's you've done something wrong at that point.
Right, like all she wanted, she's just so happy with it. Her grandson and all them just wanted to be vampires. And you just had to go be a dick about it. Mrs. Rosen, that's her name.
I love there was a part earlier when Cassidy's like explaining to the group what Icarus has been doing, and they're like, "Yeah, you've been mean to us from the start." He's like, "What did I say? Like, you called us Egypts? You said we're a bunch of posers." Just like rattling off the list. She says, "He's like, okay, well, yeah, I did say that, but I like you guys now."
Yeah, I came around.
Yeah, Egypts.
What is his one last? I'm trying to. Oh, so he wants Mrs. Rosen to call Lisa.
Yeah, to call any of the people that have left.
Yeah, just call her, and that'll be fine.
And tell her I'm sorry.
She's not there.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with Miss Rosen. But it's all going bad for them next week.
Well, see, here's the thing I don't quite understand about that is if Mrs. Rosen calls them and gets voicemail, how's that going to prove that anything bad has happened to these people? Maybe she couldn't get to her phone.
Maybe.
I mean, unless a careless change of outgoing voice messages saying, "Hey, I was killed by a vampire," leave a message to the beep and I won't get back to you.
Yeah. I don't think that's what it is. I think this will just be a simple she'll call and she'll get a nobody answer, and that'll be enough proof for her. She'll be like, oh, no. Yeah. So there's simple solutions on this show sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's gonna happen. So then the bus blows up and the SS shows up, and they got tanks and whatnot.
Yeah, say with the fucking tank.
They're fucking fully prepared. This SS.
I'm curious how they got the tank that far down the road to be able to cut off the bus like that. Those things don't move very fast.
How do you know where the road to hell is?
True, but they've been driving for quite some time.
I mean, based on our experience, I assume the road to hell is somewhere in Oklahoma City. But
But you saw the little trip meter on the top of the bus. You know, like they were like 3/4 of the way to hell at this point when the bus finally exploded.
Yeah, and there's no stops.
Nope.
So yeah, I'm curious to see how the SS is the new Third Reich is going to play into this, but that's that's another crazy thing they've done, and I don't know that you can do that on a regular TV show. I mean,
yeah, you can't bring Nazis into a basic cable, or maybe like a network TV series.
You can if it's Band of Brothers and you're beating the Nazis, but right here the Nazis.
But that was HBO though. Band of Brothers HBO. Like you couldn't NBC is not gonna have a show where Nazis show up.
That's fair.
Well, actually, no. Didn't they show up in Timeless?
Oh yeah, but
they're bad guys, so it's okay.
Yeah, they're bad guys. This is the Nazis being the good guys and helping our heroes escape. Yeah. Adolf Hitler has been, the sidekick to Arseface for 2 seasons.
Yeah. The last time you saw any kind of movie or TV show where like the Nazis or something like that, where the good guys was, the original Birth of a Nation, like in the 1920s, when the KKK were like the heroes of the movie. People nowadays don't make shit like that because they know better.
And so it ends with Miss Mulree having a little conversation with DC where he's like, "Are you sure Jesse's going to come back?" And she's like, "Of course he's going to come back. He's coming back to kill me." And she, what? And then Jesse strolls up with a fire truck that had dropped him off.
That's just him abusing his power at this point.
That's abusing the power, and that's what we said. If he just used it all the time, it would get so pedestrian we'd get tired of it. So they took it away from him entirely, and we haven't seen it. So
yeah, now, I mean he's been without it for the entirety of this season, Yeah.
So now we got it back, and that's the end of the episode. So he's got it back. We're all set up for the finale next week. And then we'll see if we get a season 4.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see where that goes.
And you and I will be back sometime in October for Where's Carl?
Yes, we will.
We'll take a little break, but I think we're just going to bring the Monkey Caviar back as just Monday night chat show.
Works for me.
Yeah, I think we can do that. But we'll take a couple of weeks off anyways and enjoy some downtime, and then we'll get back at it. But we'll be back next week to finish this off. Stick around for the finale. I mean, you've waited all season for us to finish it up.
Yeah.
Thanks, J-Rod, for showing up in the chat.
Thanks, J-Rod.
I'll see you Saturday. And all right, that's it. I'm going to sign us off. Until next time, love many, trust few, and do harm to no one. Peace.